Hello, 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 everybody, and welcome back to another ARTlapse. So I'm super excited to be bringing back these onto my channel. For a moment there, I was like, hello, I'm an art channel. Where's the art? Hello. And yeah, basically, I think I stopped doing these videos quite as often because in the past I would just sort of narrate and go through my process and narrate what was going on screen and explain it. And when you're an artist, sure, you will experiment, you should try new things, but you kind of do the same things over and over again at the same time too. So it was started to feel very clinical and sterile and like work, and it wasn't fun. It just wasn't fun. So I think I had to take a step back and take a breather to gain perspective and sort of see where I wanted to take the direction of this channel in. And if you're listening right now, please feel free to leave me in the comments the types of things you like to see me create, because as you can see, we're kind of just creating over here, honey. We're just having a good time creating all sorts of fun content, whatever comes into my mind, and that's where we're at. And I love creating things and talking to you guys and creating these videos, but I also at the same time want to create stuff that you guys will enjoy instead of just throwing things into the void, you know what I'm saying? So let me know, because that would be a great help to me. So I wanted to bring these ARTlapse videos back, and recently what I've been binging a lot of on YouTube is different artist videos where they sort of show their time lapse in the background of their art, and they just talk over it, honey, just casually, and it's flowing, and they're telling stories, they're giving their opinions and all this sorts of stuff, and I love it. So I wanted to try it too. I thought I'd have fun with it. And you know, this is also sort of reminding me of when I was working on the MT But Mindful podcast, of how kind of comfortable I would think the word is. That was a weird way to say that. Comfortable and authentic. Wow. Yeah, see what I'm talking about? That the way that I can talk. Can I even talk? Like, what are those sentences? But anyways, I'm distracting myself. This is all candid. We're getting more candid out of this channel, folks. I'm distracting myself. What was I talking about? Okay, so yeah, it reminds me on my podcast of like how sort of like raw and authentic and real and just you get what you get Eilie is like, versus like a camera on me where I'm still getting comfortable, I would say, but I've gotten a lot better. You know, part of me was tempted to like write a script for this video or even points, but I'm like, no. Well, maybe bullet points would be good. Then I wouldn't get distracted so much. I hope you guys find this funny. This is my mind. Maybe it's not funny. I don't know. I think it's funny. Okay, now I'm just rambling. Okay, bullet points. Oh my God. Yeah, so this is why I like this format, because it's just like you get the real peeks into my mind. And that's fun, maybe. We'll see. Versus like on camera where I'm a little bit more put together. I have like my ideas of what I'm going to say. I have ideas of what I'm going to say. Okay, so yes. We are talking. It's been 5 minutes. This is garbage. Okay, we're going. So in this video, I wanted to talk about recovering from burnout and really taking care of yourself and the importance of self-care. All that good mumbo jumbo in a pot of stew. We're going to make it. We're going to talk about. We're going to eat it up and slurp it up. Get some of that self-love in your life. Amen. And so recently, as you guys probably know, or if you haven't, welcome to the channel. I ran a successful Kickstarter for my webcomic Magic Hats in October, and I rebranded my whole, everything, social media, website, online store. I do a lot of stuff, blah, 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 blah. Rebranded that in August and September. And I just completed another book, Orangelou, with my dad. And so we've been doing a lot over here. And what happened? Your girl got chronic burnout. And that sucks. It's one of, there's many things that suck in this world. And it ain't no competition. When things suck, they suck. And boy, howdy, did that stink. Especially for someone who is high ambitions, lofty dreams, and type A, wants to work all the time. Workaholic. There you go. That's the word. Workaholic Eilie Astara is. And so just not having the energy and requiring so much more sleep and not having the motivation, it just sucked. I didn't feel like myself. I felt burnt out because I didn't take any breaks. I was just rolling from one punch to the other, one action thing to the other, and it just burned me up. And what I'm trying to emphasize is that if you're not careful, that can happen to you. And so now, I guess, we'll talk about how I got over that and use my story as inspiration. This is so funny to me, this whole recording. Use it as inspiration. I don't know why I'm laughing, but use it as inspiration in your life. Right? Yeah, right. So that's the whole point of this, is that we're bringing back these art lapses and we're going to do some real talk over them. And so basically what I really learned the hard lesson of was the importance of taking breaks, the importance of self-care, the importance of setting boundaries with your own self, the importance of structure, the importance of separation between work life and personal life, especially when you're a freelancer and it all just sort of bleeds together and you have a home office and yeah. So during all of that, I was also working online teaching English to children in China. And so you go according to China's hours, not your hours. So I was getting up at 5 and 6 and teaching in the morning, and then I'd go back to sleep because I'm a night owl and that wouldn't be enough sleep for me to function throughout the day. And then I'd wake up at after I did all the teaching, and wake up at noon or 1 and just be totally dead. For 6 months of my life, I was not getting 8 hours of sleep at once. I would get 8 hours, but I'd sleep 4 hours and then 4 hours or something like that. And that really messes you up. And so that was on top of all the other nonsense, which is my life, which I do to myself. On top of all the other that hard work and pressure to succeed and da-da-da-da-da. And that will mess you up. And it kind of took me a while to recognize that the sleep was the major issue causing all of it. I mean, all of it was sort of doing, it was all a weight, but the sleep was the hay that broke the camel's back. I'm really bad at idioms. The needle that broke the horse's back, the hay that broke the camel's back. You get what I'm saying. It was the needle that caused the tumbling down of dominoes. No, that was totally off. Okay. We're being candid here, unedited, raw. Enjoy it. Okay. I bet I'm going to get a comment about, stay focused, write notes. You're rambling. Well, if you don't like ramblers, then you shouldn't be watching someone with a Gemini moon. Snap. Okay, so. Yes. So that was the thing that topped it all off, that really caused issues in my life. And now we're at 10 minutes and I haven't even gotten into like what I did to recover. So let's go into that, I guess. So taking a break can be hard, especially when you are a workaholic or you have big dreams and you just like are antsy to get things going and to continue to build and work and stuff. But my point is, there's a winter season for a reason in life. The seasons, you know. There's a winter season for a reason. Oh my God, I'm rhyming now. There's a winter season for a reason. Remember that. Because nature needs to... Well, what I mean by that is like things wither and die like plants, right? That was a really dark sentence, so I had to elaborate. But that's the purpose of it, because sometimes when you're building something and it's not working correctly, you don't have a strong foundation. And if you got to rebuild your foundation, there's nothing else you can do except step away, step back, and just watch it all crumble and fall apart. And it can be super painful, and it can break your little old heart because of all the work you put into it. But if you want to build a sound structure, you got to start from the ground up, and you got to make sure your foundation is solid and can support you. So that's a little bit of what happened for like 2 or 3 months of my life. I was still doing client work. Don't get me wrong, I wasn't just doing nothing. I was still working. But I wasn't creating magic hats as much. As those who follow the webcomic can tell, updates really died down for like 2 months because I just couldn't do it. Like I said, it was like I was a toothpaste tube, and you know when you're trying to get that little bit of toothpaste because it's during the week and you don't want to run to the store because that's a errand weekend thing, and you're just trying to make it till the next time you go to the store. So you're squeezing those bits out. You're like, come on, toothpaste, I gotta brush my teeth. I know you got some left in you. I was that toothpaste tube. And that's why I think I broke down so much, because I didn't respect my limits and I pushed myself beyond them. And that can have really detrimental side effects. So I just had to stop. I just had to become winter, and I just had to stop what I was doing and just take a break from all of it. Take a step back, stop producing so that I could see. Because if you're constantly in action mode and just going from the next step to the next step to the next step, checking off that checklist, and you don't take those moments to breathe and stop and gain perspective and silence your mind and ask important questions that you need to ask, and to be honest with yourself, to be absolutely honest, real, raw honesty with yourself about what isn't working, then you're going to break down. Even machines need to rest, because if machines run constantly, they will break down. And honey, you are in an organic, cosmic, beautiful, with limitless potential human being that is so much more and different and imperfectly perfect than a machine. So if you respect a machine's limits, you got to respect your own, and you need to have the ability to recognize them, and that's very important. So that's why that is the importance of taking breaks. And another thing I learned was the importance of self-care, like maintenance. Like self-care can be organizing your panty drawer, and like with the socks and the bras from my drawer. That I did that, and it like looked like a Marie Kondo, like perfect, like just everything structurally in line. It was beautiful. It was beautiful. And, well, it is beautiful because I did that yesterday, but it's beautiful. And I'm like, I want to do this in my life. I want to like organize one thing a day, because that's an act of self-love. Because that now, like when I reach into the drawer, like I don't have to dig around. And yeah, like digging around might take 10 seconds, might take 30 seconds, but that time adds up over time and affects your mood and affects how you feel, versus like opening that perfect grid system and pulling out the one thing you need. Like that is an act of self-love. Maintaining yourself is an act of self-love, just like we maintain machineries, like you maintain your car. That is an act of self-love. And if you gotta stop, accept it and respect it, because you love yourself. Even though you love your work, you love yourself. You should love yourself. And if you don't, it's a practice. Practice it. Practice loving yourself, because you are your biggest asset when it comes to your art. And if you are not doing well, your art will suffer. And I feel like we lie to ourselves, at least me. Like we can be delusional and be like, oh, everything's okay. I'm okay. My art's okay. Like all this just to keep things going so we don't have to face it. But there's like this one Buddha quote online, which is contested if it's actually a real Buddha quote or not, but whatever. 3 things cannot be long hidden: the sun, the moon, and the truth. And you will have to face your truth. So these are the things I learned and had to do. And like watching anime again and magical girls, like this painting is Princess Tutu, because I just watched Princess Tutu and I absolutely love it. That's an act of self-love, because it fuels and inspires magic cats. It lifts me up and brings me back to when I was a little girl, and I absolutely was like amazed with magical girls. And like I ain't got no shame in that, you know, that's what I'm doing while I'm working. And that's an act of self-love. There's so many things that you can give to yourself that is an act of self-love. Like I'm working out again, and I'm taking my health and physical wellness as a priority, because that is an act of self-love. I'm not putting it back anymore. I'm not sacrificing that anymore for my art so I can just always be working, because look where it ended me up, you know. And learning that lesson of like, if you ain't working, it's not getting done, that you're the biggest personal asset to your business, was amazing. Because after I stopped fighting it and I took that time to rest, and I reconnected with the joy of creating again, which was drawing in a sketchbook, playing in that playground. The sketchbooks are magical portals that you bring these whatever imaginative ideas you have locked up, stored away in your mind, into this world with limitless potential on that paper. And that pencil in your hand, there's nothing like pencil on paper. It just melts away. You just reconnect with that inner child again. And you let her be free, and you don't judge, and you don't try to be perfect or get validation from outside sources that you're on the right path, that you're working towards these goals. None of it, just all falls away, all that pressure, because it's just you and that inner child holding that pencil, reconnecting with that joy, and just letting loose on the page. If it's a bad drawing, who cares? If it's a good drawing, who cares? What matters is just getting the idea through your mind, through your arm, into your hand, and across that page. And it's been absolutely freeing. And that's what I did to recover from chronic burnout, because I just allowed myself to rest. I took breaks. I invested in self-love, and are reconnected with that inner child, like what she wants. She wants to watch anime. She wanted to create a magical girl comic. That was the first comic I ever created when I was in middle school. And look at me now, like, not forcing. Don't force things to happen. Don't force yourself to do things. Don't put that pressure on yourself, because that pressure, your creativity is just like a hose, and you're twisting that hose when you put pressure. And that creativity will stop flowing. It'll spurt at first, you might get some holes in the hose, and then eventually, if you put enough pressure real tight, it'll just stop flowing altogether. And it's your job to maintain the integrity of that creativity hose and make sure it's doing okay. And if there's an issue, you got to fix it, because you won't be able to create until you can. And sometimes we prioritize the wrong things, but now I've learned prioritizing the right thing is another lesson of like, instead of like forcing myself to create art, like that was at first my priority above all else. And it just wouldn't happen, when in reality, what needed to happen, what should have been the priority from the beginning, was taking care of myself, because after that was taken care of, then I can move on to the art creation. Does that make sense? So you want to prioritize what's essential in that moment. What is the top thing you need to take care of so you can be free to create, instead of forcing yourself to create garbage because you feel like garbage. Because what you feel is what you will create. So let me know in the comments down below how you liked this video, if you liked this free form, unedited, raw, authentic Eilie just ranting and rambling for your ears joy, or if you want a different topic for me to talk about, let me know and we will get into it in the next ARTlapse. Thank you all. So don't forget to hit like if you like this video, and subscribe if you want to see more, hear more, experience more. And I will see you next time. Stay magical, folks.